In the season of Easter, we're talking about spiritual disciplines, practices we can do on our own that will make us better disciples. The first is worship, simply gathering here in church, the easiest and best spiritual practice, I think. Last week, I highlighted practices that open us to God. So, having an examen at the end of the day, journaling, going on a pilgrimage, resting. Yes, taking a rest can be a spiritual exercise as long as you are doing it with intention. Dedicate that rest to God, as every Sabbath is supposed to do. Today, we'll list practices that help us relinquish the false self. Now, all of this, by the way, is coming from Adele Calhoun's The Spiritual Disciplines Handbook. The false self, she says, is our defensive ego, the mask we wear to hide ourselves from others. Now, before God, we are naked. We are to be vulnerable. To do that, here are some exercises you can try: confession and self examination, detachment, discernment, mindfulness, silence, sobriety, solitude, spiritual direction, submission, waiting. None of these are going to be very popular, but they're important. We do most of them over the season of Lent, in fact. Confession, detachment, discernment are all about examining your life and removing those things that don't contribute to your spiritual health, changing habits that are harmful to you. I've been trying to do that with my phone and think someday I'll be successful. Silence, sobriety, and solitude are similar in that they all seek stillness. It's when we quiet down, when we are alone, when our minds are clear, that we can hear the voice of God. You don't have to always be in silence, but many of us never are. We have the TV running in the background, we've got music playing when we drive, we're going from one noisy distraction after another. The only time that we are still might be in church. When the world is constantly yelling at us, how are we going to hear God? So let's try to add some quietness into our days, even if it's just while you eat breakfast. And lastly, let's talk about submission. This one might sound repugnant to you. It gives us this image of a brainwashed cult follower or submissive wives to domineering husbands. The biblical model of submission, however, is different. Submission is about trusting God's instructions, listening to God's Spirit, being humble enough to follow. We are called to be servants of Christ, to let Christ be the head of our church and Lord of our hearts. Society tells us that we need to take the reins and be in control of our own lives. But there is something deeply freeing about trusting your life, submitting your life into the hands of Christ. And people tell me about their fears, worries, and stresses. Most often, it's about future scenarios that they can't control. They're trying to control something that's not in their power, and all of that causes anxiety. But if your life, your future, is submitted to God, if you're trusting it all into God's hands, then what do you have to fear? The future will be what the future will be. And whatever happens, God is with you. God will work it out. So, your challenge for this week is to try to do one of these practices that relinquish the false self. Take some time to take the mask off and stand naked before your God.